not be able to break them up. And I feel like this is pretty equivalent.
Yeah.
And if some shit is going down, I don't feel like Ron and Hermione have any business sticking their noses in there and be like, what's going on? Your buddy's involved, but your buddy is only a small part of this.
Yeah.
And there's like 14 other people ready to kick the shit out of each other.
That and they can fly.
Right. Wouldn't be much of a fight.
Plus, they're good whapping sticks, so they could just whap each other.
Right. Don't underestimate the power of a good broom. Or a good set of bolt cutters, whichever.
At this point, Malfoy starts talking shit again about the money situation and how the clean sweeps are shit brooms. And hopefully, Gryffindor can raffle some of those brooms off and get some money back. And Hermione isn't about to have that kind of shit.
Yeah, Hermione says at least nobody had to buy their way in, and the smug look on Malfoy's bitch-ass face flickered for just a second. And that made me smile and gave me joy. Because it shows that even Malfoy knows the only reason he's on the team is money. And so, yeah, he might be rich enough to get on the team, but that doesn't say anything about his skill while he's in the air. We know he can fly a broom well, even if he does it with the wrong formation, I guess. But that doesn't mean he's going to be any good at Quidditch.
Yeah, they got to the core of him.
And Malfoy comes back saying, no one asked your opinion, you filthy little mudblood. Oh, he did the bad thing. And I think everybody here needs to just have a beer, chill the fuck out, and go on this beer break with us.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do at this point. We all need something to lift our spirits after that.
It's the responsible thing to do. All right, well, tonight we are drinking chocolate peanut butter imperial porter.
Ooh.
See, I put a little bit more on the imperial because I didn't read that part before I took a drink. And it's got chocolate and peanut butter. That's my shit. It's basically the Reese's of beer. But that imperial really does mean something. And I took a swig and holy fuck, it is strong. More chocolate flavor than peanut butter flavor.
You were like, hey, Railtown Brewing, how you doing?
They came to play. They didn't write anything on their can. They're like, look, chocolate, peanut butter, imperial porter. Boom.
Speaks for itself.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
So, Harry knows right away that Malfoy said something real fucked up. Because Fred and George charge Malfoy. And Flint actually has to dive in to protect him. Which I was kind of surprised that he even cared that much.
Yeah, Ron raises his wand and points it at Malfoy's face. And essentially pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
I mean, he really tried to get him. And a green light comes from the wrong end of his wand and it hits him in the stomach.
Yeah.
So Hermione, being who she is, she asks Ron if he's all right, and he responds by belching out slugs. And, I mean, as funny as this is, I don't like bugs or creepy crawly things. So if I were Ron and I had to belch out slugs, that would lead to me throwing up pretty quickly.
Like, legit throwing up?
Oh, yeah. And this semi-comical scene would get gross real fucking fast. And it would not be funny at all if this had happened to me.
This is actually very, very true. That would be very gross.
Yeah.
Slugs, dry heaving. Slugs, dry heaving.
Oh.
Right. So Harry and Hermione, being the heroes they are, they spring into action and grab Ron to bring him out to Hagrid's hut. And Colin, our creepy little fucking buddy, he chases them and starts asking questions the whole way.
Until Harry's like, dude, just get the fuck out of the way. I don't have time for you and your weird fascination with taking pictures at the wrong fucking time.
Is it a press thing that he was able to figure out Harry's schedule?
No, this is just for his personal use.
Oh, so he's just a stalker.
Yeah. He probably did get a picture of Harry's schedule, though, and zoom in a million times, you know, like they do.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him to get some super personal information like that.
He's a super fan!
So they get within 20 feet of Hagrid's front door when it opens. And it's not Hagrid. It's Lockhart, of all fucking people, saying, hey, it's a simple matter if you know what you're doing, extra loud. If you need help, you know where I am. I'll give you a copy of my book. I'm surprised you haven't already got one. I'll sign one tonight to give to you. Just fuck off, guy. For real.
He's the worst.
You could say this one is a real pill.
How come he doesn't want to acknowledge the fact that he could get more publicity with Harry's autograph on one of his books than just having his own?
I think it's kind of a spotlight thing for him. He could probably sell more books if he had told people Harry's signature was in them. But at the same time, I don't think he'd want to share the spotlight with Harry.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to have to. He only does it when he sees Harry getting it when he's not.
Jealous little bastard.
They knock on Hagrid's door urgently, and when Hagrid answers, he's like, "Oh, I thought you were going to be Lockhart, thank God." He brightens immediately as soon as he sees them, and he couldn't wait to have the kids come see him, so that was cute.
It was funny how he handles Ron's little slug problem. He just looks at him, he's like, "Hey man, better out than in," and gives him a large copper basin. And he's like, "Get them all out, buddy." Which, again, if I were in this situation, that would be my worst nightmare.
That's kind of how you handle your drunk friend, though, who's puking and you can't get him to just stop. You're just like, "Here, take the bucket, sit in the bathroom. You'll be okay, bud."
Yeah, Ron has the spins right now, and he's just got to go for the ride.
Okay. Here's a big glass of water. Here's some aspirin. Try to keep it down. Maybe some crackers.
And Hermione agrees. She's like, "I don't think there's anything we can do." But again, is that really the smart choice here?
If Hermione doesn't know of a cure, then there's no cure.
Recording.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Did you just cut that, what I just said?
Yeah, you're going to have to say it again.
Harry asks what Lockhart wanted, and he tells him that Lockhart was giving him advice and telling him bullshit stories that Hagrid doesn't believe a word of.
Right. Harry was surprised that Hagrid would speak ill of a Hogwarts teacher, and Hermione comes to Gildy's aid by saying he was the best man for the job. And Hagrid disagrees with that by saying no, he was the only man for the job. Like, the only one who applied.
Why wouldn't anybody else apply? I could think of another teacher that would go great as a dark arts teacher.
Hagrid says it's getting difficult to find anybody for the defense against the dark arts job because people think it's jinxed. No one lasts very long for a long time.
Right. So it's obviously been going on longer than just Quirrell. Hagrid tries to move the conversation along away from the teachers, and he asks who Ron was trying to curse. And Harry is like, "I don't know, Malfoy called Hermione something, must have been real bad, because everyone went fucking nuts."
Yeah, Ron confirms it was bad, that Malfoy called her a mudblood. And Hermione says that she doesn't really know what that means, but she figures it was rude. It's a word for wizards who were muggle-born, people with non-magic parents. And people like the Malfoys think that they're better than everyone else because they are what you call pureblood.
Quick question. There's Muggleborn, there's Mudblood. What about one magical parent, one non-magical parent? Does that determine your magical ability?
No, and they kind of use a couple of examples here. They're saying that look at Neville. He's pureblood, and he can hardly make a cauldron stand up correct. And Hagrid adds, they haven't invented a spell at all that Hermione can't do.
Right, even though she's mudblood, she can do it all fine.
Right. There are plenty of purebloods that can't do shit, but there's Muggleborns who are way better than everybody else. I just love the way that Ron, in the middle of being very, very sick, has the moral wherewithal to stand up for what he thinks is right.
Ron's woke.
Right, and Ron is a pureblood.
Right, he is.
So he is the type of person who should be speaking out about that.
So, in the middle of all that, Ron gives a small burp, and a single slug comes out that he catches in his hand and throws into the basin. Gross. So at this point, Hagrid says, it's probably good that your wand didn't work, because that Lucius would have come right up to Hogwarts if he had heard Ron cursed his son, and at least you're not in trouble.
Right.
And inwardly, Harry is like, I don't think it gets any worse than this. And I damn sure agree with Harry and Ron that this is probably the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
I think he would go more for his dad.
Yeah, but I could definitely see Lucius coming up to the school and be like, what the fuck? My kid's a student here. You're allowing another student to attack him. I want this kid expelled.
Right.
I'm going to sue him.
Yeah, he's one of those parents.
Yeah, he's the guy who you hear complain first every time.
Every time. And Hagrid's like, I got a bone to pick with you, Harry. I hear you've been giving out them signed photos. How come I haven't gotten one? And Harry loses his shit.
Yeah.
He's more famous than Lockhart. I don't understand why he wouldn't just be playing into it and be like, I could be the king of the school.
Because he's not a Slytherin.
I don't think that's Harry's MO, but he doesn't like it when people assume shit about him, and he starts to defend himself. And Hagrid starts laughing because he's just fucking with him. He's like, I didn't believe Lockhart anyway. Because Harry is more famous than him without even trying. And Hagrid then tells Lockhart that he hadn't read any of his books. So Lockhart decided to leave. He's like, oh, this guy's not a fan. I don't want to spend any time with him.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done here.
Which is funny because you would think a guy like Lockhart would want to spend time to make a convert, like get a new fan, but he's not interested in that. He's only interested in people who are going to kiss his ass.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have time for the people who won't because he has to talk to the ones who do. Hagrid offers Ron some fudge, but he intelligently declines because he doesn't want anything else coming up.
That, and from the first book, they know that he can't cook.
Hagrid invites everybody out to the back to see the garden.
Yeah, he says, come and see what I've been growing. What have you been growing, Hagrid? It's legal most places now.
Behind Hagrid's house were a dozen huge pumpkins.
Damn.
That Hagrid is growing for the Halloween feast.
I was hoping for wizard luck.
And Harry's like, damn, what have you been feeding them? And he admits to giving them a little help.
Can you imagine having to gut them pumpkins, though? We just had Halloween here, and that'd be a lot of gunk.
You just cut a hole and have your kids go inside the pumpkin and start scraping it.
Harry takes notice that Hagrid's little pink umbrella is nearby, and Hagrid's not supposed to be able to use magic, but Harry suspects that his old school wand is sealed inside.
Yeah, and it goes on to say for a second that Hagrid was kicked out of school in his 3rd year, and Harry knows that, but he doesn't know why. Every time it comes up, Hagrid would kind of pretend that he has gone deaf, and he would stay that way until the subject was changed.
La 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 la, can't hear you.
Right. Well, Hermione, being the opposite of Hagrid, knows that Hagrid used an engorgement charm, and adds that it looks like he's doing a really good job on him, too.
I love that she had a mixture of disappointment and admiration on her face when she realized it. I just thought that was really nice. She's disappointed because you're breaking the rules, just like she is with the boys usually, but she's like, oh man, you did it. Good job.
I thought maybe it was disappointment because she expects that the keeper of the grounds at Hogwarts could probably grow some pretty badass shit.
Without magic?
Without magic, right. But no, he's using magic because, I mean, you know, magic.
Because it's easier.
I would.
I mean, why wouldn't you, really? If you have the ability. Their Christmas decoration takes about 5 fucking minutes. If they can do something like that in 5 minutes using magic, why is growing a big-ass pumpkin such a no-no for Hermione? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. And now that we mentioned that carving pumpkins with magic probably is way easier.
Oh, yeah.
And Hagrid says, your sister said exactly the same thing to me earlier, Ron. She said she was just looking around the grounds, but I think she was hoping to run into somebody else. If you ask me, she wouldn't say no to a sign.
Oh, shut up.
Ron laughs and sprays slugs everywhere, which is disgusting and hilarious.
And then he starts throwing up all over again, to the horror of everybody in Hagrid's hut. That's the part that Joe Rowe forgot to write in there.
Hagrid's like, watch it!
Yeah, don't get your shit on my plants, bro.
Slugs are good for plants.
Not according to Hagrid. Hagrid's pumpkins are delicate babies that must be cared for. So